Hey everybody, I am trapped in board game hell. You can see in front of me, I can't even see basically. There's a stack of games here and they're all expansions to board games. And each one of these expansions haven't even been opened yet. And so we're going to take a look at a few of these. And this is a segment I want to call Board Game Expansion Hell. I think the devil's chasing after me because the devil made me do it and buy each and every one. So let's take a look at what's sitting on this desk. It's a pile of expansions. Oh my. Oh my. Hi everybody, my name is Harry Jacobs. I am the North of 60 Gamer and welcome to my table. And you can see that we are in expansion hell. And while I was away on vacation, which was in May, and I know it's July, I got back in early June, it's taken me a month to clear off a few games, rearrange my gaming room to some extent, and of course now was able to pull out some games from my shelves that I got expansions for that I hadn't been able to get to because I had to clean my shelves to go find the games that were sitting on the shelf. Oh my gosh, it was hell. And I still have a pile of games in the hallway going, I just put a new shelf in and I still don't have any space. I think what I'm going to do, I have another space. I think I can get another 36-inch shelf in there and remove what I've got here. This room is going to be nothing but shelves and a little studio. So that's what it is. Okay, first up, this game right here, Nemo's War. This is, for me, the #1 solo game that I have in my collection. It's a wonderful little game. Actually, it's the biggest solo I have, actually, next to Dawn of the Zeds. Victory Point Games. Great little game. If you like a lot of randomness, it's a great game, but there's lots of replayability, especially with the new journeys and expansion. Now, I did open this one the other day because I have an intention of doing a video for it, and you can see we have new rule sets and some new counters, a new type of game to play. We got some little ships and a deck of cards. This is, I think, like the biggest expansion there has been for this game. I'm hoping it's not the last, but this game has had three or four little expansions, and it's been really good. And I have not done a playthrough video of it. I think I might if there's room at my table. The best playthrough video that I saw live was Paul Grogan, of course, and he spent I think it was 4.5 hours playing. It was a riot because this game is not easy. There's a lot of randomness to the dice, and that frustrates people, of course, but I think it just adds to this charm of this game, the uncertainty of it. And winning is one of the most difficult things. I have yet to win this game. I've come close to getting sort of where I was close to a win, but inevitably, as the game goes on, it gets more frantic. And that is a really good solo game because it starts off and you're going, oh yeah, this is cool, I'm going well, and wait a minute here, there's another ship and another ship. They're searching for me all over. There's nowhere to go. I've lost the game. And that's kind of how it goes, but it is a fun game. The journey of this game is a narrative style. You'll do there's a story, more or less, with random cards or things that you do, and you'll pick up random quests and random events, and it's very, very well done. As I say, for me, it is the #1 solo in my collection, and as you know, I love solo games. So that is Nemo's War. I'll just get that out of the way. Next on the pile of hellish expansion goodness is AuZtralia. This is from Stronghold Games. It's a Martin Wallace game. It is absolutely fantastic. It takes place in the Australian outback, and it is Cthulhu steampunk and emerging. It is a unit-based game. You gather resources to build your armies because the old ones are awakening. And again, this is one of these games that builds frantically. It is a good solo. It is also a good multiplayer game in which you are sharing these resources, and resources are scarce. And so that once as you're using them, you're using them, and they don't come back through the game easily. So it's a fun game, fun characters. The old ones sort of wait till you catch up. It's got a different, interesting way of doing first players. It really depends. Time is the mechanism here. So everything you do takes time. The time ticks to, I think it's turn 18 or whatever that turn is. I can't remember. It's been a while. And then the old ones start awakening, and then they start going after you. They start going after your all types of things, and you have to prevent them and be ready for it. And you only have so much time to do that by gaining resources, so you could buy units in order to attack the old ones. And as time goes, more units come on, more old ones awaken, and hopefully in the end you are victorious, but not necessarily. And it has an interesting first player mechanic, because the person with the least amount of time goes first. That includes the old ones, so it could happen where they might get multiple turns in a row, which is not nice. So what's here is the expansion. It is the Big Z Box, and in the Big Z Box we have the Tasmania expansion and the Revenge of the Old Ones. And I haven't, again, this is new and shrink. We'll take a look at this separately, but I just wanted to show you that this is a big box expansion, and this was just this year. I think, as I said, it came in just before I left on vacation. And again, this is the first chance I've had to sort of go over these, and that is the big box expansion. Again, this game, I think the Tasmanian board is not as big as the original board, so hopefully we'll get to play with this one. Now I have to admit that this is one of my favorite games, the Manhattan Project Energy Empire by Luke Laurie and Tom Jolly. This did have an expansion, and it came out a few years ago on Kickstarter. But it just came in, and we lost Tom. And in the middle of all this Kickstarter, unfortunately, I think it was Tom who passed away. And so with the way things go, of course, everything goes into probate, and they were looking for somebody to publish this, and they did. They kept at it. It was amazing. Sort of process to watch as they were continually giving us updates to say, well, we're working on it. We found a publisher. We just have to get this or that or the other thing. And they did get it published, and here it is. Cold War. It's not a big one expansion, but I'm looking forward to it. After the bombs fell on Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the dust settled from World War II, the nation's world rebuilt their economies and infrastructure, and the atomic age began. Nations forged alliances through strong diplomacy. They built rockets and satellites and began the space race. They constructed enough nuclear missiles to destroy the world many times over. Their spies were around every corner. The Cold War has begun. And it has different modules. So again, this one's been, so it's been about 3 years to get this one into my collection. Yeah, they're saying 2021 when it was published, but the Kickstarter one was 2019, and we just got that a few weeks ago. Another fun one, Lockup. This is one of the most fun games I have. It takes place in the role player universe, of course, and lucky for us, we have an expansion. And I'm missing some of my. Oh, there it is. There's some of it right there. They've gone from cardboard to these nice plastic tiles, which is kind of cool. And of course, we have these little Breakout It looks like it adds a small board, some new cards, some more tokens. Again, we haven't done this. This is a good solo as well. It's not a bad solo where you sort of randomly go at it. This game is such an easy game. I've taught like 10-year-olds to play this game. It's quick to learn. It's got a kind of a bidding mechanism, and basically you're just trying to buy items and win the most points and make out like a banshee in terms of items. And as you gain points, this game is a lot of fun. People who play it really, really like it. Just the ease of playing this game is amazing. Of course, anything in the role player universe by Thunderworks game is good, as people know. Who doesn't like role player? I certainly like it with the monsters and minions and expansions and the various and hopefully they'll keep it up. And of course, role player is now on Steam. It is a PC version, and I didn't buy it yet. I'm waiting for the monsters and minions, because that really is what makes the game, is the monsters and minions. But this is Lockout Breakup again. Whew. Now we're down to the last two, so not so hellish. We'll start with this one. This is a fun game. It's based on the comic books by Felipe Cagno and Fabinho Neves. It is from Rock Manor Games, Michael Nadd, of course. And this is The Few and the Cursed. And you might go, there's been a bit of not love for it. It is actually not a bad game. It's from 1 to 4 players, though I don't recommend the solo game. It's not that good. It's really just time-bound, and you go around and play, try to win. It really shines in a multiplayer, 2 to 4 players, and you go around, make locations, fight, take events. It is a deck builder with a different mechanic in which you will actually take 2 cards, choose one, put it in your hand, discard the other, and then away you go and take your turn. It's fun. It's tongue-in-cheek. It is what it is. And now here we have the new expansion, the Deluxe expansion. And it just looks like we add some miniatures, some new cards, some new boards. What else does it add? Water tokens. Yeah, so it's a Deluxe, some promo cards, a 5th and 6th player expansion, and a Fallen Immortal expansion. So we have a few new things here for the Few and the Curse. The Few and the Curse, a curse-chasing adventure. It's fun. If I was to compare this to another game in my collection, Legends of Novus. Not quite the same, but that same feel. You go and you explore locations. You do stuff at different locations. You can fight monsters, things like that. And at the end, it's the person with the most points wins, of course. Now you might see over here, here we are, this box, this one. This is Vita Lacerda, of course, on Mars. It is a huge game. It is... Mechanics aren't heavy, but there's a lot going on in this game. I've played it once. I've played a few times solo. Played it once. I don't know what it's going to be like with the Alien Invasions, a somewhat cooperative expansion. So I guess it changes into a cooperative game of some sorts. Again, I have not played this, so I assume if it's a cooperative game, does it lose its 1 to 5? Yeah, 1 to 5 player, 80 to 150 minutes. So you are in for at least a 90-minute to 3 hours. I would plan on 3 hours. If you don't know this game, you might want to plan on 4 or 5 hours. One of the things I do with the Vita Lacerda games, and of course we've got some plastic alien tokens here. One of the things I like to do with Vita Lacerda is send videos to my friends and say, look, guys, we're going to play a heavy game. Please learn how to play before you get here. I know you can't learn from videos, but you can look at Tabletopia, I should say. You can look at Tabletopia. I believe there's a version of this on there, or Tabletop Simulator. You can look at some videos and learn how to play. I think Paul Grogan has another video on Mars. I believe he actually also edited the rulebook. So the rulebook is not terrible. In fact, it's quite good considering how heavy this game is. Now, it is not the heaviest of the Vita Lasarda games, but anytime you get into a Vita Lasarda, if you're looking at heaviness, you're looking at 4 to 4.3 out of 5 on a BGG scale. I don't remember exactly what on Mars is, but that is all the expansions I have. I have a few more. I can see Sinister sitting right here. I can see Tapestry, Arts and Architects. I can see it Azul, the new boards. I can see some expansions for my D-Day dice. So there's lots of expansions here, but I just wanted to show you some of the highlights. All of them in shrink. So there's a ton of things to do in terms of maybe doing some videos here, especially the Few and the Curse, because it is not a bad game from Rock Manor Games. Of course, that is Maximum Apocalypse. I think that's what it is. That is a very good game. There it is. Yeah, Maximum Apocalypse. And that is a great game. I can see it way over there. That comes in a big box. That's at 4 or 5 expansions. So well worth it. That is one of my favorite games. It is a good solo. You can play, I recommend at least 2-handed is good, 3 is good. The Fireman is really good. You can play with the Redhead, because in the New and the Cursed came one of the attractions. This was the exclusive red-headed deck that you get for Maximum Apocalypse. And that sort of added to, I really wanted the game. But it's not a bad game. It's just, maybe not a great game, but it is a good game. And of course, what you don't see over here is my Railways of Sweden, which of course is an expansion for, along with the solo deck for Railways of the World. And in that, I've also bought Railways of Portugal. You can play that on Board Game Geek, and there is a solo mode now, but kind of overshadowed because I can play on Board Game Geek. Board Game Arena. So if you like playing that game, Board Game Arena is a great place to play it on, because you can actually play it and with competitors, which is kind of cool. But anyway, that is it for now. So I'm going to get this up for you. Again, my name is Harry Jacobs. I am the North of 60 Gamer. This is the North of 60 Gaming channel, and I appreciate you being here. So please subscribe, like, hit the bells for notifications, and we will come back at you later. Talk to you later, everybody. And I'm going back to hell.